safe shelter. Like, if you're laying directly on the insulation, because you say you're so fluffy, they're going to... But the next thing I need to worry about is fire.
I'm losing light. One of my main intentions is try to make it fun.
Cody doesn't have a knife.
You give me a knife out in my country, in fact, I revert to stone tools. That really separates the men from the boys. Kind of looking for a tight grain block so you can force a shockwave through that stone. Cutting edge, right there. That would cut you to the bone.
Cody's preferred friction fire method is with a hand drill, where a stick is spun against a softer wood, creating sawdust that heats up into a coal. But Dave's making a bow drill. It's similar to Cody's method, but instead of spinning by hand, tight paracord is wrapped around a spindle to do the work.
Yeah, people think that any moisture that's in the ground, any moisture that's in your materials, any moisture that's in the air, all play a factor. So that drops my percentage chance of success dramatically.
I take my pocket multi-tool and use the pointed end and make a little depression. Now we're using it as a sanding block. It slices, it dices. Order now, and free, we'll send you 2 handmill sets.
Running out of daylight, now my chance for diminishing every second. I'm looking for a little bit to start building up. This poor shot, slipping on the step.
Coming up.
I thought Dave might be here by now.
Priority number 1 is easier said than done.
Got it!
But even when together,
Tony, there's a snake up here. Uh-oh.
Next thing you know, pretty much just shuts down. I try to restart it, it doesn't start.
I wouldn't even try and start it. It's apparent that something's really bad.
Another engine problem is threatening to delay Pitbull's plans.
It sounded like I lost a cylinder. It's really hard to say what's going on. I mean, it could be a mechanical failure. We need to pull plugs out, get a look at them and see what's going on, read the plug, see what, what happened.
It's not spark plugs. There's something electronically wrong with this vehicle.
No, it's not electronic.
Yeah, I beg to differ. If it's misfiring, it's electronic.
Master mechanics Brian and Pitbull are at loggerheads.
To use another gallon. Yeah, I think I do. You guys need to step aside and let me and my crew work on it. You couldn't figure the final. Yeah, this basic. You know, when you have 2 passionate guys working on something, sometimes things get a little heated. I need a computer! I need a computer! What's the point? A computer that they know sometimes you just gotta sit back and let the solution work itself out. Here's a problem.
The actual problem is
that what happened?
there's no petrol.
When you get too involved in a project, sometimes you overlook the small things. And the vehicle being out of gas is a small thing.
You can build as many cars as you want, but when there's no gas on it, it doesn't matter.
Nothing's gonna happen.
It just doesn't matter.
The magic of petrol brings the engine back to life.
Yeah, gasoline, baby.
With just 10 days to go until the owner's birthday, the pressure is back on Lipu.
I'm trying to figure out the fender with the headlight.
He's already widened the bonnet to fit the chrome grille. Now he wants to widen the fenders to fit the lights and bumper.
Hold it there. It's just working. It's working. I got my line. I'm using this 65 pin power fender to widen the original one, and then cut the top and match it to the hood. That's it. That's the Impala line right there. It all the way around here. This was the most important line for this.
1830.
With the fender flush against the chrome bumper, the crew close the gap with sheet metal, and then Lipu hammers it into shape. This is a traditional technique, and Lipu's a master of it. And with the last hammer blow, the Caprice's bodywork finally fits Leepu's chrome.
Amazing. Amazing job.
The custom Caprice wagon is finally taking shape. It's supposed to be a birthday surprise from customer Barbara to her hard-working husband Bill. The only problem is, Bill's just turned up in Pitbull's office.
Eyes what?
Bill?
That's the man, Bill!
Oh my God, dude. Why'd you tell him I was here?
Bill thinks his car's having the brakes repaired. He has no idea what's actually taking place in the garage.
We should cover this thing up. This is bad. This is bad, bad, bad.
The whole reason why we come on this journey is to find these unexpected finds. This whole world we have yet to explore.
This is the most significant moment in human history. This is what they captured in this one instance. One else is gone. I love that feeling of living on the edge.
It's not that what he did changed history forever.
I never imagined that this was even possible.
Bring history and science together. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It's London, it's always a game.
There's always a little bit more you can get. But then I go out swinging. Razor edge out
This is for real.
You have to be prepared to do anything that comes along.
Get all you got, man.
Live dangerously.
Fahrenheit offered me the chance to do something revolutionary.
That freedom, it's gotta be appealing. This will revolutionize the industry.
There's the potential for history-changing evidence.
It was all for the taking. The sky was the limit.
We are making a game changer.
We've only scratched the surface of this monster story.
Killing and suffering and excitement.
Come get some.
These terrorists must be brought to justice.
He went to war. We're defined by our opportunities, not just the ones we capitalize on, but also the ones we miss.
It is in those moments when
I will never quit.
have just 10 days to finish customizing the 1991 Chevy Caprice as a surprise birthday gift for Barbara's husband, Bill.
But that's the man, Bill. Oh, my God. Hey, come on.
But Bill has turned up at the garage unannounced. He thinks his car's simply having its brakes repaired. And now Pitbull needs to come up with an excuse. And fast.
You must be Bill, right? Barbara's husband? How you doing? Steve, nice to meet you.
Looking for the car.
Car's on the way out of the shop. I don't know if Barbara told you. It started with one thing and went down a lot to the next. You know, I'm going to keep the money tight for you, but we had to order a proportioning valve, which came in 3 times wrong. I hear you.
For a while.
I hear you, and you know, I'm keeping the price down in light of that, but it just, the car's so big. Yeah, I hear you, but
see?
It's about a mile away. It's locked up.
A week. I have another car. I gotta get it back to. Yeah, so my brother.
1 week with that car, you'll have it. It'll be right, and you'll be very happy. I'll call you as soon as it's ready, and you'll have it back, and it'll be a check.
Okay.
All right. Take care, Bill. Nice meeting you,
man.
Yeah, have a good day.
You got it.
It's a lucky escape.
What happened?
Oh, Bill wanted to know why that little brake job took
What do you want?
3 weeks. He wants his car. I told him he's out there in the shop, waiting on parts, everything I could say.
Oh my God, it was very close.
Guess what? What? He's got to have his car back in 1 week.
A week?
1 week, man.
That's a lot of work.
Bro, it is what it is. We got to have it back. We can do it.
We have to get it done.
We can do it.
Do it.
All right.
To make the new deadline, the car must be resprayed tomorrow. But first, Lipu and Pitbull have to test drive it. And before they can do that, it needs some high-performance brakes and lights fitted.
91 Caprice wagon has this taillight somewhere in here. The 65 Impala has 3 lights like this. We're going to wind up putting all 3 of them in here. One like that, one like that, one like that. Good. Fire this thing up, guys.
The Caprice is finally ready to hit the road. Pitbull wants to push his converted boat engine to the limit, so he's brought the car to his local racetrack.
Yeah, baby. Here we are. Oh, yeah. Say, what did this thing do 0 to 60 last time we ran?
17.
17 seconds?
Yeah.
It's time for Pitbull to test it to the max.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
But 10 seconds faster than a month ago.
I've got some power now. Tell you, this Holly fuel injection system just lights it right up.
Oh, yeah.
And no win is complete without a victory lap. Pitbull's driving has pushed the car to breaking point.
Oh my God.
The Caprice's old exhaust has blown, but Bill's birthday present needs to go to the paint shop today. The boys are going to have to do some serious damage control.
I think we got a leak in the back.
Yeah.
Better do something about that.
I'm about to throw up.
Well, you know what? We ran, what, 7 seconds?
Less than 7. 6 something.
So, go back.
Let's go.
Do it.
Back at the garage, the team have just hours to build a new exhaust.
You know, we put a different engine in this car, different headers, different injection. That exhaust is never going to fit. Making a new one. That was pretty good. Show the car.
Brian and Colin are building a 3-inch custom exhaust to handle the Caprice's 320 horsepower.
What's your end up? We don't have a whole lot of time.
And Lipu needs to put the finishing touches to his design, but he has to wait until the car is off the lift.
Time is a real factor in this car. I mean, we can do anything to this car, but it will take a lot of time. Time is important. We have to get this car back in the line.
You know, if we can get this Caprice out tonight, we just might make Bill's big birthday surprise. Gonna be tight. The bigger question is he gonna like it?
After almost 5 weeks customizing an old 1991 Caprice, Leepu and Pitbull are ready to deliver their first ever custom station wagon. And they're just in time. Barbara's arrived at the garage to pick up the surprise present for her husband, Bill. It's the first time she's seen the car.
This is the car?
What do you think?
Wow. It doesn't even look like the same car. Unbelievable. It's
What do you think? Take it over to him?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
Get in.
Leepu and Pitbull have Barbara's seal of approval.
This was a very difficult build. It was a horrible car. Right now, I'm a bit nervous. What if Bill doesn't like it?
Oh, look at this guy right here. Look at him. Look, he's gonna hurt his neck. What are you gonna do? You're gonna call Bill? Let him know we're on our way?
We should.
Go ahead. You were in.
Hey, Bill. I wanted to let you know I'm coming home with the wagon, and I need you to come out. See you shortly. Okay. Bye.
Barbara gave us about $13,000 for the build. Cost us about $9 to $10, so I made a few dollars. Not only that, she loves the car. I'm just hoping Bill does too.
Just a little surprise. That's not my car.
I was waiting for her to pull up in my 91 Caprice. Then I saw this. I was a little confused, and then I was like, oh my God, she's in it. Wow.
I just wanted to do something for you, since you're always doing everything for us.
I love it.
It's really nice.
They've turned it into a 65.
Leepu took Bill's old 1991 Caprice wagon.
The effort, sometimes your dreams come true. I restore what for me are true pieces of art. I like to feel the strength, the power and the noise that make a great engine. This is my territory. Gear Dogs, Wednesday on Discovery Channel.
For more than 1 million years, I've roamed the earth, adapting, evolving, surviving. I stalk wild lands you may never see, taking only what I need and giving back far more than you know. I breathe life into the forests, and they breathe life into you. I know every tree, every rock, every stream in my kingdom, and I watch as they slowly disappear. I'm one of the first things your children learn to love, and the last thing you think needs your help. But my roar is fading. In your child's lifetime, I could be. I am no longer the most powerful being in the forest. You are.
Make it for me. Me, I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing to make the sea for me. You clean the for me too, okay?
There's only so much, and I'm not the only one looking for it. Failure is not an option.
Gold Rush, Tuesday on Discovery Channel.
Still no sign of Dave. I thought he might be here by now. And maybe he's not finding some of my tracks, which is a distinct possibility. I've left Dave a variety of signals, from broken branches to drag marks in the earth to flags, etc. What I'm going to do now is make a smoke signal, contrast hopefully with some white smoke against the blue sky. It'll smell like campfire, and that'll travel quite some distance. And we can only hope. Cody's obviously been here. He may still be in the area. Okay. Cody definitely came through here.
Barefoot footprints right here. These have to be his footprints because not too many people are going to be walking around here barefoot, except Cody Lundy. That blind, he's had something enough to leave me something else. Okay, this is definitely a sign from Cody right here. We got one of Cody's footprints, his left footprints right here, drug his right foot. All the way across here, pointing in the direction that he went. You know, he might...
On history.
Hello, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. Like many Americans, there are a few things that touch my life on a daily basis more than cars. This evening, along with history, I'm proud to present to you part 3 of the epic story of the most American of machines. Whether for work or play, for short drive or a cross-country trip, cars are a vital part of American life. For some, they're a tool, for others, a statement, and for a select few, an obsession. But no matter the role they play, there's no doubt they've shaped our country in ways that nothing else has. This is the story of how the car made America.
Previously, on the cars that made America. In the first half of the 20th century, the world has seen a drastic change. The modernization of America, driven by the railroad, oil, and steel, is connecting people as never before and building modern cities. But nothing helped create the America we know today more than the car. These vehicles are responsible for the national road system, the assembly line, the middle class, and the suburbs. But the 1940s will see an end to the greatest conflict the world has ever known. And as the nation turns its attention inward, Americans once again demand innovation. As a new buzzword soon captures their attention, modernization. The Big Three react by empowering young designers to create new visions as the car's influence on America expands. As Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, and Chrysler give way to DeLorean and Iacocca as the innovators that paved the way. World War II begins with the battle lines drawn between good and evil, the Allies against the Axis. The Nazis' secret preparation for war gives them a huge head start on building a massive arsenal. The US knows the Allies must close the gap if they are to win the war. They turn to an unlikely partner for help, the Big Three.
We'll have 20,000 ready by the end of the month. The country's in good hands.
The United States became the arsenal of democracy. Not simply the United States, but Britain, the Soviet Union, and America's other allies. And so Detroit became ground zero for the most astonishing economic production performance in history. Just as they had been cranking out millions of cars, now they cranked out millions of weapons and vehicles of war.
In addition to producing over 300,000 tanks and trucks, the Ford Motor Company, led by Edsel Ford, promises the government a new B-24 bomber every hour.
Bear in mind that when this decision was made to build bombers, there was no plant. So Henry Ford's son Edsel worked day and night on that. And within 18 months, built a brand new bomber plant and started making bombers.
But soon after, tragedy strikes at Ford. With his son Hank on duty in the Navy, Edsel dies of stomach cancer, aged just 49.
Edsel ran Ford Motor Company well. As a matter of fact, Edsel Ford saved the company while his father bucked him over and over.
We need to progress or we'll be left behind. If your goal is to convince me, it's been a pathetic attempt.
We're gonna be late, Henry. You're never late.
Just a moment.
After Edsel's death, Henry himself was in a daze and kept saying, I wanted him to stand up to me. That's what I wanted all this time, and he never did. Clara was truly horrified by it all. She held Henry responsible because she thought that he treated their son so badly.
Henry really took it hard. He blamed himself for his death. He was walking along in a fog. And frankly, for several years, there had been problems that Henry was getting a little bit of dementia setting in.
Shortly after his son's death, Henry Ford steps back in to take control of the company.
Mr. Henry Ford has asked me to read the following. To whom it may concern, in response to the untimely death of my son Edsel, I will once again assume the role of president of the company I founded 40 years ago. Effective immediately.
The next thing you know, we'll be making Model Ts again. It'll kill the stock price.
It was the Model T that built this company. And don't any of you ever forget it.
Ford suffered from the characteristics of what made him successful. He believed that he knew better than other people. Great entrepreneurs almost always have this trait. But there's a fine line between self-confidence and arrogance.
Henry Ford was autocratic, dictatorial, selfish, ruthless, and wanted complete control of his company.
Franklin D. Roosevelt's extremely nervous. Knowing how badly he needs the big three to win the war, he appoints former carmaker William Knudsen to fix the problem. Knudsen knows the turmoil at Ford can only be stopped by a change at the top.
Hank!
And quickly finds a solution that he knows Henry will agree to.
Please have a seat. I've pulled a few strings around here. Son, you're going home. Home, sir? Ford's manufacturing capacity is too important to the war effort.
Well, if it's all the same, sir, I'd prefer to serve my country.
Hank, someone needs to take the reins from your grandfather and that madman Bennett. The best way for you to serve your country is at Ford.
Well, if those are my orders, sir, I'll do everything I can.
The government was worried about the company being in total chaos.
Hank returns home to pick up where his father left off.
Your father would have done so many great things. If only your grandfather hadn't stopped him.
I'm not sure I'm ready.
Of course you are. Make this your own, Hank. There's nothing standing in your way.
But Henry still isn't ready to give up control of the company.
A
as the war ends on August the 14th, 1945, with Japan's surrender.
2 million New Yorkers jam Times Square. It's official. It's total victory.
The Ford Motor Company is in dire straits. With the loss of Ford's wartime contracts and no plans to modernize, Henry Ford is voted out by the board and replaced by his grandson, Hank, who isn't the only one looking to be the most powerful man at Ford.
Harry Bennett thought that he was going to be the president of Ford Motor Company, and he didn't think much of Henry II. He didn't think he had any ability. He didn't think he had any leverage.
Bennett, Henry Ford's longtime enforcer, has been angling for years to take over the company and is secretly working to undermine Hank.
Harry Bennett certainly had people in the factories that were loyal to him. The situation was so fraught for a while that Henry II and those before him were carrying guns around with them at work.
Hank knows that Bennett poses a serious threat to his leadership and turns to an unlikely partner, Bennett's right-hand man, ex-FBI agent John Bogus.
It's long overdue, Hank. He's destroying your company. You're the one who has to take action. Hank, he's got to go. If not now, when?
I know he does.
Well, you've got to do it. I'll be right here. I'll stand right by you. I'll back you up 100%, but it's got to happen.
Bogus had been the head of the Harry Bennett, but turned on Harry Bennett, allied himself with Henry II.
This Harry, but the least you can do is knock.
You don't deserve my respect. Nothing to build. Nothing.
My father wanted you out for years. If only he could see you now.
You can't do that. The old man is still in charge.
The last time I checked, he and I share a last name.
This isn't over.
So there's never been a better time to study ancient DNA. This is an incredible opportunity to